Adaptations. Emergent evolution is the independent development of similar features in totally different types of species. These features have evolved when different species from different families have adapted in a similar way. Divergent evolution occurs when a single species develops into many distinct new species. These species have evolved when separate groups of the same species were subjected to different selection pressures. A structural adaptation is a change in physical features of an organism. The black-capped capuchin has a prehensile tail like all New World monkeys. The tail can grasp tree trunks and other objects to help the capuchin keep balance and stop it from falling. The common ringtail possum has also developed a prehensile tail. Its tail allows it to hang from tree branches and climb effortlessly through the trees. The prehensile tails of both the capuchin monkeys and marsupial ringtail possums have evolved independently for the same purpose, to help them climb through trees, and is therefore an example of convergent evolution. Ring-tailed lemurs' tails are an important adaptation that helps them balance. This clip shows how adept the lemurs are at using their tails to balance while climbing trees. These tails, however, are not prehensile and cannot be used to grip branches. The beak of the Australian pelican is an example of a structurally divergent adaptation. The pelican's beak and large throat pouch is adapted for catching fish. The beaks of other birds are used for many different purposes, such as eating fruit, catching insects, drinking nectar, or scavenging meat. Physiological adaptations are changes in body cells or tissues in response to environmental pressure. The coastal taipan is one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Its physiological adaptation is the production of venom. The snake uses this venom to kill its prey, striking quickly with several quick bites. Interestingly, the corroboree frog also has a physiological adaptation that allows it to produce poison. In contrast with the taipan, the corroboree frog is an amphibian, not a reptile, and uses its poison for self-defense against predation instead of using it to kill prey. The ability for both the corroboree frog and coastal taipan to produce poison is an example of convergent evolution. The Australian wood duck lays between 6 to 16 eggs. By laying so many eggs, the ducks can allow for the inevitable deaths of many of the ducklings before they reach sexual maturity. Producing a large number of ducklings is a physiological adaptation against predators to allow enough ducks to survive to breed and continue the species. However, other bird species such as the albatross lay only one egg at a time. This is a divergent type of physiological adaptation compared to that of the Australian wood duck. Frogs, such as the corroboree frog and the stuttering frog, can breathe and take in moisture through their skin. When underwater, oxygen can diffuse straight into the blood from the water through the skin into blood vessels just below. Carbon dioxide is also expelled in this way. This physiological adaptation allows frogs to respirate underwater without requiring the use of their lungs. Behavioral adaptations are changes in the behavior of an organism. Meerkats have behaviorally adapted to protect themselves from predators. They live in groups and post a lookout standing on a high viewpoint to keep watch for threats. When danger is spotted, they can warn others using a variety of different calls, each for a different type of predator. The group can also stay together to intimidate a potential predator or other meerkat pack. Zebras too stick together in herds to keep safe from predators such as hyenas and wild dogs. When in a herd, their stripes make it harder for a predator to distinguish between each individual animal. The way both zebras and meerkats protect themselves against predators by staying in groups is an example of convergent behavioral adaptation. Male peacocks spread their beautiful feathers and produce a show to attract the peahen. He raises his long colourful feathers into the air and makes mating calls. This behavioural adaptation allows the female peacocks to select the strongest and best males for them to mate with. Kangaroos lick their forearms to keep cool. This is an example of a behavioural adaptation. The evaporation of water from their forearms cools the blood running in blood vessels just under the skin. Wallabies are smaller than kangaroos, but they share a common ancestor. Wallabies are generally not built for speed, but rather agility. This is an example of divergent evolution. The end. Thank you for watching.